Welcome back to the Tandem podcast. Today we have Chaz Edwards and Jose Ortiz. What's going on, guys?
Howdy.
Nothing much, just in my kitchen.
Because obviously we know Chaz is part of Nerp Tech, and he's been the regular, and not to mention probably the co-star when it comes to this. And Jose is the one that does our banners for our YouTube and kind
Stickers
of
and everything
stickers
else.
and
Come on, don't leave him hanging.
I know he's our vinyl guy. Especially go check him out on Instagram at Squirrel Vinyl. Give a quick little plug there. Thanks for being and doing this today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So this week we kind of had a little of a weird challenge that I kind of put together, and I know with everything going on, and we're having the coronavirus go around, and now we heard the free money hit the bank accounts pretty soon here. So we decided to do a little challenge of building a car with the $1,200. So we're gonna go completely stock, and we're gonna see what everybody picked for a car, and then we're gonna go what they picked for modifications.
I think
So-
the idea was if you are a entry level driver, right?
Yeah.
So
Entry
then,
level.
like, what your 12? So say you have a bone stock chassis of your choice, entry level E36, 46, IS, SC. Then you already own the chassis, so you don't have to buy the car with the money. You own it. You're spending the $1,200 on a parts list to do slides.
Yep. That's the whole take on this. This is the $1,200 challenge to say. So, who wants to start this off?
I'll go.
Chaz, okay. So, what chassis?
Got a mouthful of raisins.
Yeah, perfect time to ask you anything, huh? So, what chassis did you go with?
Obviously, I picked an E36 since that is what I built my brand around and that I know them ins and outs. So, assuming I had a E36, I would hope for like a 328 or something along those lines.
Somewhat of
With a little
decent
bit,
power.
325 would be cool. 328s are tits. So I would go with my NerbTech rack spacers for $10, my handbrake extension for about $50. I would do my lower control arms for about $200 to get rid of the like split weird two-piece stocky 36 guys. I would reinforce the subframe on the chassis.
That's like a must when it comes to pretty much any BMW because those things fall in on themselves. I know.
I mean,
currently my car is doing that.
Yeah, so I would do that just to make sure that if I'm going to have a car I can drive to and from the track, that I don't want something dumb to happen and prevent that, like the subframe ripping out. I would do my NerbTech offset R-tabs because E36, when they have the stock rubber inserts in the R-tabs, when the back wheels are under load, they allow kind of like variable alignment while you're sliding. So I would go with my spherical bearing NerbTech R-tabs. I would do the Nerp Lollipops, the Delrin. Same reason, because the front control arms under load will also kind of move around and give variable alignment.
I'm seeing a theme.
I would do my NerbTech subframe inserts. Assuming I had to go and buy this. So we actually all like went to websites or my own website, and I think Mike did a lot on Amazon. Was it?
No, I didn't want to try to. The thing is, I didn't want to convolute it and like factor in like shipping because everybody knows shipping can get somewhat expensive. So I tried to keep it as whatever the price they have it listed is the price you're going to be paid. I know not in the real world. We're just pretty much calling this the Prime account. So everything is Prime next day shipping.
So with that, I had so we all like went to some sort of website to get like realistic actual pricing. I would reinforce I would put in billet subframe inserts. I would leave the diff inserts alone because they aren't the end of the world. I would buy an eBay seat bracket, and then I found a cheap racing seat on Jegs for 130. And
Is that
then
the plastic one?
I don't know. It was like a regular fixed back, so
Okay.
I don't know.
I didn't know if it was like the cheap plastic, like
and then
drag racing one.
And then assuming that I couldn't weld and I was like an average Joe that had to have their diff welded, I even threw in $50 for a welded diff, which is pretty much the going rate, 50 to 75 to have your diff welded. So my total actually came up to be $1,198.
That is pretty much on the dot of how much you could actually probably spend.
Yeah, and I think that setup, I didn't do any power adders. I like to be planted in the seat, so I had the racing seat on. As much as I like racing steering wheels, I'm fine with the stocky, and that setup should eliminate a lot of the weak points that the chassis has, and should allow you to drive to and from events no problem. I did it for a couple years when I first got my car, and stock motor, stock power, and I just had, full suspension components, and it was super reliable, and it didn't break until I threw a turbo on it. So
yeah, and that's the kind of setup I'm trying to go for my E46 in real life.
That's what I'm currently doing.
I want to be able to drive it to the track, beat the piss out of it, and drive it home, and that's pretty much my route I'm going with. What you did for your car and team.
Simple and effective.